Hello, my name is Alberto John Kennedy. I'm going to be talking about, really quickly, about paranormal activity and how to cleanse yourself and your home from anything paranormal. What qualifies me to talk on this is that I am a third generation psychic medium. I am a brujo, which is Spanish for witch doctor. I got it from my mom, like they say, I got it from my mama, and I got it from my grandmother. I am African American and Mexican. I lived in Mexico City where I healed a great deal of people, helped them, taught how to protect oneself from witchcraft and whatnot. Since in Mexico City, a little known fact, witchcraft in Mexico City is about as rampant as voodoo is in Haiti. So yeah, it was real. But I learned a lot there, and I loved it, and it's part of my heritage. I was initiated in Santeria. There's three initiations in Santeria. I have only two under my belt. I am not a santero, but I have been trained and I've worked with and I was taught with many a santero, many a babalao, which is babalaos are high priest in Santeria. And I've worked with I worked with one palero who taught me some things, and that is a person who works with Palomeyombe. Similar to Santeria, not the same thing. I have various backgrounds in terms of different magical systems that I have studied and practiced, and that I currently study and practice, spanning a 20 years. So I know what I'm doing, and I've done it for a while now, and I'm a natural. That's what qualifies me to talk about this. Okay, so I want to talk really quickly about paranormal activity. It is real. It does happen. I know many people tell me, "Is that real?" I mean, ghosts and whatnot. Yeah, and even if it isn't in your reality, okay. But if it is in somebody else's, is it that difficult to respect their perspective? Think about that. For those people that are plagued with paranormal activity, there's some things that you can do on your own. Sage, I'm sure you've heard about using sage. It actually does work. Sage, this is sage, sage bundle. Use sage and they call it smudge stick. I call it sage because it's sage. And what you do is you burn this and you just go around your home and go around everywhere. It's going to be just a lot of smoke. Get ready for it, but that's okay. You want to cleanse it. The smoke banishes anything negative, anything that's not supposed to be in your sacred space, in your home. What's more sacred than your home? That's where you go to feel safe. That's where you go to be happy, to live, to love, to eat, to enjoy family. That's your sacred space, and nothing should be in your sacred space without your permission. And so, if anything happens to be in your sacred space without your permission, banish it with sage. And sage is very powerful for that. Also, Palo Santo. Palo Santo, it's a very powerful tool that the shamans in Brazil use. And it banishes negativity, the same way sage does. And it's very powerful, very powerful. It smells very similar to copal, the resin that is used in Catholic church for incense and whatnot. It's very powerful and it smells nice. You can combine Palo Santo with sage as well, so keep that in mind. What I use as my go-to is black salt. Black salt is very powerful, and it finds its origin in hoodoo and voodoo. You can get these items in Amazon. You can get them, Google it. You can find it, and get them. And it's always good to have around, especially if you're going through paranormal activity, if you're going through a haunting of some sort. Protect yourself, and cleanse your home. Take back your home. It's yours. Keep in mind that hauntings from spirits is one thing. Hauntings from demons or a demonic energy, that's a different type of thing, and I feel bad for you if you have that, because that's some serious shite. Okay, it's serious. I've seen it, I've existed through it, and it's no joke, you know. And unfortunately, there's some people that that energy attaches to. Now, if you have an attachment, the sage, the palo santo, the black salt will help you a great deal. If it's a demonic attachment, not so much. But it will, the best you can hope for with these tools when it comes to demonic activity, it will muffle it, it will weaken its intensity, but it's going to be there. You know, it's like Prego. It's in there. It's going to get you. Now, what you need to do, if that is happening, you need to consult with somebody who's experienced in dealing with that type of evil, that type of spiritual evil, because that's what demonic activity is, a spiritual evil. You would deal with a priest, you would deal with a brujo, you would deal with somebody that is skilled in dealing with the spiritual evil. Because keep in mind, spirituality is one world, just like physicality is a world. We live in the physical world. This physical world has many other worlds near it, many other dimensions, many other planes of existence. These entities have been here longer than we have. So they know how to get down in certain ways that we don't, you know. And so you need help with that. And that's what shamans are for, that's what brujos are for, that's what psychic mediums are for, that's what priests are for. They know about that spiritual world. They have that innate knowledge about that, and that's what you need in order to deal with that type of situation. But back to the spiritual and paranormal, sage will help you a great deal. Palo Santo will help you a great deal. Black salt will help you a great deal. So remember that. Whenever you have something paranormal, you have tools. A lot of people say, well, I don't know how to fight back. How do you fight against something you can't see? This is how. Sage, smoke. Palo Santo, smoke. You burn that. Black salt. Black salt is very powerful. It absorbs negativity. It repels negativity. It is just great to have. You know, I would even sprinkle some in your car. If you're at your work, you have a little vial, leave it in your desk. If there's some work drama or whatnot, it absorbs everything. Do you notice that whenever you get into an argument, or not you, better example, when you walk into a room and people have just argued and it was a heated argument, but you don't know, you just barely walk into the room and you can feel it lingering in the air, that's a light version of spiritual negativity or spiritual evil. That's just a light form of it, because spiritual evil feels 100 or 1,000 times thicker and stronger than that energy. That can affect you physically, given your long-term exposure. Okay, so these things, sage, palo santo, black salt, are items that I encourage you to find if you're going through paranormal activity, and if you are going through something like demonic activity, which I will discuss in another segment. There are ways, but to be perfectly honest with you, it's going to be a fight, a spiritual warfare. If demonic activity is involved. And so I pray and I hope that none of you ever experience that, because that's something that I wouldn't wish on anybody. Okay, if you have any questions, let me know. And this is going to be first of a great deal of other segments that I am going to be doing, trying to help people and get the word out there and give people advice, or at least pointers on what to do if they are lost in the dark, because it's my mission to bring light to dark places. And that's what I want to do, and that's what I'm going to do. All right. Thank you.